We have a really interesting discussion here today regarding the fact that should Treyarch be the only developers for Call of Duty Zombies, and if so, do you think they should only be developing zombies in their own Call of Duty games, or do you think they should also be developing zombies in the other studios' games, like they did with Vanguard Zombies, which was a complete disaster, and like they are doing with Modern Warfare 3 Zombies that is still yet to be determined since it's not out yet. If you think that Treyarch should just be developing zombies but only in their own games, do you think that the other studios, Sledgehammer Games, Raven Software, or even Infinity Ward should then be developing zombies in their own games instead of Treyarch taking the brunt of the work? Or do you think that the other studios should just leave zombies alone entirely and keep it to a Treyarch only thing in their own games? And then the other studios, I guess, just work on something boring like Spec Ops? Or do you think they should try something brand new and something otherworldly and akin to zombies but not zombies, such as what was attempted with Extinction in Call of Duty Ghosts? Should the other studios try and do something different like that, such as a crazy dinosaur mode or whatever the hell? Honestly, that's personally what I think they should be doing. Yes, Extinction wasn't as popular as Zombies, but it was Infinity Ward's first attempt. Of course it's not going to be. And by giving up, and by Activision not being confident in another court mode that's different to Zombies, but still crazy and bombastic, how on earth are they ever going to succeed if they don't attempt trial and error? One attempt is not good enough insight to see how popular the mode ends up being. Well, that's everything I want to discuss in this video, because as you know, when Modern Warfare 2019 was announced, the developers came out and said there are absolutely no plans to introduce zombies because they want to stick to realism and have a grounded experience, which some fans enjoyed. And then they did Spec Ops instead, which really wasn't well received. And if we jump forward to present day, they've decided to throw that realism marketing ploy out of the window, and now we're getting crazy stuff in Warzone such as Godzilla or the Last Stand event, or even the haunting events that we've just had. And they've been so much fun because they're not sticking to realism and they're just wild, funky, crazy out there experiences. And now zombies are back in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, despite the fact that the higher ups at Infinity Ward clearly never wanted zombies in Modern Warfare games. Now, recently Brian Bright, who was the director of Infinite Warfare Zombies, came out and said that they were apparently told by Infinity Ward / Activision higher ups that they couldn't have zombies in Modern Warfare 2019 because zombies don't belong in a realistic Modern Warfare experience. And it's shocking now, considering that we are getting Modern Warfare Zombies in Modern Warfare 3, but it's just developed by Treyarch and not Infinity Ward. So Infinity Ward really got done dirty. Of course, Infinity Ward did work on zombies before, only once, and that was, of course, Infinite Warfare Zombies. Now, this game is very dividing, it's controversial. People really look fondly back at Zombies in Spaceland and even Raven the Redwoods a bit, and there was a lot of really cool things about Infinite Warfare Zombies, especially the Mephistopheles super Easter egg. At the same time though, I personally do think that there was a lot wrong with Infinite Warfare Zombies as well, but that's a given, it was their first attempt, not everything's going to be perfect. I think it had its fair share of pros and its fair share of cons, especially the cons were probably the storyline. It wasn't really interesting at all until right at the end of The Beast from Beyond with the super Easter egg cutscene. I was quite interested then, but the characters just weren't engaging and stuff like that. And I also think that the map's quality decreased massively as the seasons continued, with The Beast from Beyond being a really poor map that was kind of saved with the awesome super Easter egg. So yeah, in my opinion, Infinite Warfare Zombies is a really mixed bag, but I would have totally be open for a sequel to Infinite Warfare Zombies. There's clearly a lot of fans that really enjoy Zombies in Spaceland and would like to see Infinity Ward attempt zombies again. I don't know if they would go for a wacky approach to zombies again, or whether they would try to do a more realistic zombies experience like we're getting with Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. But regardless, one attempt isn't enough to gauge how successful it is. Clearly, they were told they couldn't continue it because it wasn't successful enough as Treyarch Zombies. In fact, Brian Bright previously came out and said that Zombies was actually more successful than multiplayer in that game. Now, it makes sense because Infinite Warfare was just a really poorly received game in general, so the player base was probably extremely low, so the fans who were playing were probably just playing Zombies because they're a more passionate community. In Treyarch games, it's always that multiplayer has way more players, but the overall player base is still way larger. So for example, in Black Ops 3, whilst the player base would have been much lower for Zombies, and whilst Infinite Warfare Zombies had a higher player base for Zombies than multiplayer, the player base for Zombies would have still been way higher in Black Ops 3 than Infinite Warfare, if that makes any sense. And it's worth taking that into account when assessing and comparing different percentages between multiplayer and Zombies. It's not fair to just directly compare them without the physical player numbers, which unfortunately we don't have, but we can probably estimate, considering they didn't continue Infinite Warfare Zombies, it was probably quite low. Now, we have a lot more to discuss within this video because the developers Lee Ross and also Brian Bright have been revealing a lot of information, and I'll go over that all in a second. But first of all, I have a very awesome message to share with you. Gather around RPG enthusiasts and brave adventurers. Today's video is graciously sponsored by Beast, a game that challenges not not just your tactical skills, but your moral compass. Dive deep into a raw, gridless turn-based RPG that packs a brutal punch, set against the backdrop of a medieval world devastated by plague and military discord. With this realm, each choice you make doesn't just determine the fate of the battle, but can echo with consequences that ripple through the very essence of the game. Now here's the thrilling news, Beast has just launched its early access on Steam on October 25th. You could be among the first wave of players to delve into its rich tapestry of conflict and decision making, so why wait? It's completely free, and you can also hit that wishlist button and be primed for its much anticipated full release as well. Picture this, a seasoned warrior thought to have been lost to the ages makes a return after a decade of captivity under Ottoman rule. He finds his Carpathian homeland in chaos, reigned over by a deranged prophet king. The lands are ravaged, the people tormented by raiders and a deadly plague. Every memory, every cherished moments from the past seems alien now, but his soldiers' spirits remain unbroken, and he's driven by an unyielding mission to halt the plague's onslaught. This isn't just a battle against external foes. As you guide this veteran, he grapples with inner turmoil, with the very essence of his being. The unique beast system in this game offers a gripping dilemma: will you harness or suppress the beast within? The innovative insanity system thrusts moral decisions upon players during the heat of combat. Immerse yourself in a world soaked in the lore of the Carpathian legends, a grimdark setting where every choice is a dance between shades of evil. And when it's time for battle, brace yourself, command your squad in heart-pounding, fast-paced turn-based tactical confrontations. Each battle isn't just about strategy, it's a visceral experience that will test your mettle. To all those waiting on the edge of your seats, here's your call to action. You can wishlist Beast on Steam using the link below and even dive straight into the action with the free demo. Like I said before, with no cost to get started, there's no reason not to delve into this tumultuous world and wrestle with the inner beast that lurks within. The question is, will you dare to face your inner darkness? Dive in and let the saga unfold. Don't be afraid. So jumping right back, it seems like Infinity Ward, at least their co-op team, got shafted twice, because first of all, according to Lee Ross and Brian Bright, they were actually planning to do a sequel to Extinction. Of course, that game ended on a cliffhanger, and this sequel sounded insane. According to Lee Ross, they even had a demo working for it. Apparently it was going to be some kind of like open world experience, where it was going to be kind of tower defense, where you would be extracting and defending hives. However, when Infinity Ward were developing Infinite Warfare, they were told they couldn't have Extinction in that game because they felt like they were taking a big risk with taking Call of Duty to space, which they were, and it resulted in the game performing very poorly, unfortunately, and the trailer receiving a lot of dislikes. But they didn't want to take a further risk by having aliens, or I guess cryptids, in the game as well, which they're not even aliens, considering that in the lore they were actually on Earth prior to the humans getting there. But nevertheless, they're kind of like alien-looking creatures, I guess, if we want to stereotype them. And instead, that's why they started working on Infinite Warfare Zombies. Now, according to Lee Ross and Brian Bright, Zombies in Spaceland was even kind of originally concepted as a mockery on them taking Call of Duty to space, because of course it's set in a theme park that's based around space and themed around space, although it doesn't actually have any advanced movement or any space elements. And I think it would have actually been cool to see a physical space Zombies map in Infinite Warfare Zombies. I guess we got it with Moon, and technically Shangri-La for Treyarch Zombies, but nevertheless, I really would have liked to see them do that. But regardless, it does suck that they were shafted twice. They were told they couldn't do Extinction, then they were told they couldn't do Zombies again, and then they ended up doing Spec Ops, and that wasn't successful at all, so now they've reverted back to Zombies in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, but they're not even developing it, Treyarch are. And apparently because Lee Ross couldn't continue his Zombies storyline, it was actually the reason he left Infinity Ward and went to Treyarch, because he was actually working on the Zombies elements in Blackout in Black Ops 4, and then he left Treyarch and Activision entirely after that game. We're not exactly sure why, but most likely it was probably due to, you know, these issues with higher ups. Apparently Lee Ross was really pressuring with higher ups and having lots of debates with them. He really was pushing for a sequel to Infinite Warfare Zombies, and he just couldn't achieve that. They didn't grant him permission, which was why he left. It does actually seem like Lee Ross was planning a story for a sequel to Infinite Warfare Zombies, and we don't know exactly what that was. And in fact, Zombies was somewhat in development for Modern Warfare 2019, but it was cut from the game, probably because they wanted to stick to realism. It seems like in the Spec Ops mode, there was going to be specific missions which were actually going to have zombies on, where it was going to be PvP the Zombies, which I guess is probably the original groundwork for what Modern Warfare 3 Zombies has begun, and DMZ, although Modern Warfare 3 Zombies doesn't have PvP, but I'm sure it was probably tested in development, but they opted out. And even in the files of the game, there's a giant boss that's found in the files of Modern Warfare 2019, and they even had a concept image. Now, apparently this concept image was never official. It's not like they were told by higher up at Infinity Ward to make this because it's something they're planning. It's just what a developer created for fun in their spare time. And interestingly enough, this is actually a very similar model to the zombies that are now in the infected version for Halloween in the hunting event for Modern Warfare 2. So it's crazy to think they've basically gone back, looked at this old concept, thought it was really cool, and basically reused it for Modern Warfare 2, even though it was never originally created as a model. They just based it off of that original concept. So yeah, I guess zombies were in development somewhat for Modern Warfare 2019. I think probably the Spec Ops side of things was done with regards to a completely different story to Infinite Warfare Zombies. It probably wasn't connected at all. And I really think this was probably the original inspiration for what's ended up being Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. And regardless of what you think of Infinite Warfare Zombies, like I said, it has its pros and cons. You have to admire Lee Ross's passion. He put so much effort into that. I believe he was even really sick during the development of Infinite Warfare Zombies near the later seasons, The Beast from Beyond, and he was still trying to finish up that story and get everything sorted. That man put his heart, sweat, and tears into that mode, and you can never take that away from him, regardless of your own personal opinions on the mode. And like I said before, Infinite Warfare Zombies brought so much to the table. There were so many cool features with the perks, and so many quality of life improvements as well. They really were trying to listen to the community. And even when we got to Black Ops 4, I think they took a lot of elements from Infinite Warfare Zombies as well. They clearly saw some of the cool features and updates they made to that mode. So yeah, this brings me to the concluding statements. Like I said at the beginning of this video, do you think that Treyarch should just be making zombies in their own games, or do you think they should be making zombies in every single game? Personally, I would like to see the other studios carry on attempting zombies, just so that Treyarch are not constantly burdened and having to work on zombies in other modes. They can focus on their own games and their own zombies experiences and making sure they are as jam-packed as possible, because it's no doubt that Vanguard Zombies probably took development resources away from Cold War Zombies, and that's not good. Now, like I said, I wouldn't mind the other studios attempting zombies, but I would rather them just try something entirely new. Like I said, they don't need to do zombies. They could try something like Extinction or something else. And yes, the first time they tried Infinite Warfare Zombies, it didn't work. The first time Sledgehammer tried zombies, it didn't work with Exo Zombies. They tried it again with World War II Zombies, and I guess it didn't work, and both times they haven't continued zombies again. It seems like both World War II Zombies and Infinite Warfare Zombies had very good starts with their launch maps, The Final Reich and Zombies in Spaceland, both being solid experiences. However, for both games, I think they deteriorated a lot through the post-launch with their pros and cons. They couldn't maintain that quality as consistently as Treyarch, which makes sense because it was their first attempts after all, so it's not like they're going to get it absolutely perfect on the first time. In fact, no game is perfect anyways. Even Treyarch Zombies has its fair share of issues, even though they have a lot more experience, and everything is subjective anyways. These are all just opinions. We all have different opinions. Some people love things, some people hate things. That's just how it is. So there's no definitive answer to, is this map good? Is this map bad? Is this feature good? Is this feature bad? And really all we can take away is player numbers and sales. And considering that they weren't allowed to continue these modes, I guess the player numbers and sales weren't good enough for Activision. But I don't think that's a means for them to give up. I just think they should recoup and try again. Learn from their successes and their failures to innovate on what they had before. Take the good features which people liked, adjust the features people didn't like, and build from it. Don't just give up immediately, keep on going. I think that's what they should have done with Extinction and Infinite Warfare Zombies, and maybe even World War II Zombies, instead of just cutting them off, not continuing their stories. But you can share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Clearly, Infinity Ward's higher-ups really don't like zombies. In fact, it seems like they really don't like a lot of the fun things. I don't know exactly who these higher-ups are, but clearly people with the final say on a lot of things are very, very stubborn at Infinity Ward. They don't really listen to feedback from multiplayer, and they're not open to change and improvements. They pretty much stick to whatever they want to do, regardless of what the community thinks. And I guess that was the same with their philosophy previously, with trying to keep Modern Warfare 2019 realistic, with the fact that they had no red dots on the minimap, and a load of other malarkey. And I guess at some point, probably Activision got Treyarch to work on Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. It's probably something that Infinity Ward higher-ups didn't really like, but they were kind of pressured into. After Spec Ops has not been successful, clearly Activision realized that the Zombies community, whilst it's not as big as the rest of the Call of Duty community, it's still a big enough portion to increase the sale numbers, and they needed to bring a Zombies offering to help with that, especially because Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is a hybrid with DMZ, so lots of DMZ fans will have something to enjoy as well. But yeah, the game still hasn't released, so we'll have to see how Modern Warfare 3 Zombies turns out. In the future though, I really want to see the other studios either try Zombies again or try something new. real or even bring back Extinction. I just don't think it's going to happen after the poor success of the first couple. But it's not that those modes were bad by any means. There was a lot of really good, but that was their first attempt. So of course it's not going to be as successful as Zombies that has been building a fan base over so many years. The problem is us fans compare the modes to Treyarch Zombies a lot. We were comparing Extinction to Treyarch Zombies. We were comparing Infinite Warfare Zombies to Treyarch Zombies instead of critiquing them on their own. Extinction was a different experience and probably should have been critiqued on its own as well. And Extinction did get a lot of really cool updates nearer to the end of the game with the teeth system, which was a really cool unlock reward system that I think should be brought back even in Zombies. And they also had the Chaos mode in Extinction that was a lot of fun and kind of like scratched that similar itch of round-based zombies. And yeah, I really think there is so much room for something successful and amazing to be born from them just trial and erroring and trying new things. And if they give up, that's never going to be achieved. Potentially, there is an idea out there that'll be way more successful of a co-op mode than Treyarch Zombies, but it just hasn't been born yet because they're not even attempting to create it. Who knows, if they continued making Extinction in every Infinity Ward game, maybe it would have gone better and better, and it could have potentially even grown bigger than Zombies, but we just don't know because it was never even attempted. And you have to understand, when Zombies was originally born in World of War, it was just a cool little side Easter egg that some developers did in their spare time. It wasn't even an official thing that they were working on, and it ended up just being a part of the main release and ended up gaining a cult following over so many years. It wasn't something planned, it was completely born organically and by accident. And that could be done again if the developers were to try something else and very different. Zombies was a big risk in World of War. It was so unlike anything else in Call of Duty. Back then they were just sticking to realism, and that went outside the box and it's become so huge. If they go outside the box again, if they try something completely different again, that same spark in a bottle moment could be done again. But yeah, that's my take. You can let me know your takes in the comment section down below. Do you agree, disagree? I want to hear everything. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not here for latest and greatest Call of Duty news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.